Manchester United conclude 2024 in the only way they know how. And the United twins need to speak about it.
Hey, ready up.
Good or bad, it's a must. Preparations keep pre-match leave a fuss. When the whistle blows, stipulations in the field like a wrestling match. Target, lock them up. Progress on the opposite, believe in divine time. 3H is my time. Load them up with a pinpoint aimed at two-man step for boots in the field. It's prime time. We are fit anywhere, specialist ballers. Touch every 4-4 corners. Open clear set piece with delivering trauma. It's like a TV drama, cover every genre. I rush sure for the next team. You say they're hot on Marga, left and right. 2 C's up top for the win. Us twins leave dust on the CB's armor.
Blessings to everybody inside, including yourself, Cappy, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it wasn't the grand return because Manchester United at Old Trafford ended the year with a 2-0 defeat against Newcastle. A Newcastle team that have hit form as of late, and they shocked the home crowd, and it seemed the team also with 2 early goals before 20 minutes even passed. Alexander Isak and Joe Linton tonight scorers for the Magpies. From the very beginning, we were on the back foot. 5 steps behind everything Newcastle did. And going into the game, gosh, there was a lot of fear based upon the makeup of our opponent's midfield compared to us. Depleted or not, because quite frankly, there wouldn't have been much of a difference if we set up the same way, different personnel, same result most likely. And that's my opinion. You can share what you need to in the comment section below, but that's how I feel. That's the damning indictment on where this team is. Getting involved with below mid-table shindigs, and that's me trying to make everything sound sweet. In actuality, everything about Manchester United from top to bottom is sour. We can speak about the on-pitch product and the lack of consistency and continuity. We can also speak about Ineos and the soulless decisions and the soulless decisions our part investors continue to make. I'm sure with full approval from the Glazer family. The once glamoured institution has become the sporting world's most famous cesspit, and meaningful change seems to be a while away at this moment of time. The space in that midfield was horrific at times. Newcastle had it their own way, and frustration, the usual stuff set in. When things go wrong, you see complaints, you see shrugging of shoulders, bickering. We lacked the physicality to compete with that Newcastle team, but made it even easier for them. Both of the goals down the left-hand side, easy enough crosses to find a welcome recipient. For the first, Isak casually jogged in between Alessandro and Harry Maguire and headed the ball into the ground uncontested. It could have been more also with Tonali hitting the post. We saw also the early substitution of Joshua Zirkzee, of course, which is never great to see. It happens. Sometimes, sadly, people have made examples so the others can conjure up some sort of reaction emotionally.
I hear that, but ultimately, this kid is not in a good moment. Has severely struggled in a Manchester United shirt, bar a couple of games. You want to speak about the flawed recruitment behind bringing in 2 forwards who are currently not cutting it in terms of adding value to a struggling attack. Once again, that's another story. There are so many stories to branch off to and stories to tell. But his morale will be in the dirt after that. And you'd hope that his teammates get behind him, because even the reaction to his substitution in the stadium was that of ironic cheers. Loud, intimidating, and downright horrifying. Just the final point also on the first half. We were so isolated in possession. Newcastle made us uncomfortable. They were tough to play through. So once the ball gets into wide areas, gaps are closed and access is denied. We often ask United to move the ball with more urgency, but can this team achieve that? In spurts, maybe, but for the most part, it will end up looking like a reoccurring bad dream of you falling and jumping out of sleep. Heart beating so hard even next door would think you're playing drums in the middle of the night.
You know, the second half was much better in terms of effort, having meaningful possession and getting the ball forward, trying to get back into the game without any bite, of course. All bark, no bite. We don't require a muzzle in the park because there are no dogs in this house. tactical tweaks for stability. I noticed we rocked to 5-4-1 in our defensive shape, and perhaps mixed in with Newcastle's drop and adaptation in their speed or intensity, that brought a bit of stability and compactness, which of course was non-existent prior. Under Ruben Amorim, we've seen this switch before. It might have been a European game. If someone in the comments remembers, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to let us know. But I remember a fixture where things were tweaked ever so slightly. Apologies, by the way, still getting over the cold. I remember where things were tweaked and it worked. Sadly, today, no goals were scored and 3 points were snatched like a rapper's chain in the Nod Fortress. Sure, it was a respectable second half display, but with the full 90 minutes put into perspective, maybe even respectable is the last word that should be uttered from my mouth for good reason.
Happy New Year.
Is it?
Yeah. It will be New Year's Eve by the time you're all watching this. Liverpool to come on the 5th, followed by Arsenal in FA Cup third round. 2 difficult fixtures ahead. Ruben Amorim knows he has to start getting results with this team before it really starts to get scary. And even with how bad we've been, you can't help but feel that this squad is more capable. Well, it is capable of much more. It has been an absolute nightmare, and not just as of late. Years of incompetence in leadership and care to create an elite and sustainable side to succeed from yesteryear's glory has simmered down to this very point where Manchester United are comfortably seated in 14th place in the Premier League, just about clawing our way up in the Europa League group table and ousted from the League Cup. 22s, please let us know in the comment section how you felt about yesterday's performance now, or today where we are, but yesterday's performance for you, and what needs to happen next in order to turn things around in the slightest. Separately, on a lighter note, thank you to everybody who has been a part of this channel, discovered this channel in 2024. You've been a part of it. We've made it an emphasis to be consistent here, and hopefully in 2025 the growth will continue as we aim to build a great community. That's one thing I'd love to see by this time next year. So for the ones watching right now, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, share to your friends and frenemies. Happy New Year when it arrives. Let 2025 be the best you've ever seen. Let it be the continuation of your growth or the beginning of a courageous comeback story for the ages. I'm not sure if it's Man United's time yet, but let it be your time. Until 2025, we'll see you not sinner. Just let the result go. Big. I'll be damned if a counterpart finds that courage. Check anywhere, specialist ballers. Goals get busting in your corner. Shoot in a pool like a box office movie. Warner, and like be a keeper's face, we can't warn ya.